had this opportunity to spend some time sharing the knowledge that I've gained over, I would call it experience and history, because basically everything that we do is an accumulation of the things that we've done in the past. And it all serves us to help others and ourselves going forward. So that's what came out of Bank on Your Success, growing your business. Truist created this model of helping business owners who are at any stage. So if you are thinking of starting a business, or you are a little bit frustrated and think, I would really like my business to take off, what's holding me back? So you might find today that there are some tips and tools that I plan to share with you, and the knowledge that we've come to know over years of working with small business owners, as Luciano, as she alluded to, that I've been working with business owners since 1992. And it has been my passion here in North Texas more than any place else, because small businesses are the backbone for larger businesses and for the community to continue to thrive. So with our next slide, I would like to share with you why we do what we do. Here at Truist, we have our purpose, our mission, and our values. And I must say that I've worked a long time, as you can tell, with corporations. And sometimes you hear that about what is your mission? What's the value statement? Here, we have to live it. And you find that you do everything within that scope. So when I'm working with small business owners, I'm thinking of ways that I can advance them. And I become very real and very transparent with asking questions that will allow you the opportunity as a business owner to think, am I doing things that really build my business, or am I just trying to make revenue this week? There's a difference. You want to build it and grow your revenue. So I want to inspire and build better lives in our communities and strengthen our communities. And our mission is to always look at our clients' best interests first. Our teammates, we want to make sure that we are creating an inclusive environment that helps everyone here at Truist grow. And then we will please our stakeholders, those who have trusted us to help them to do what they said they want to do, and that is put their time and their investments in a company that has safe, sound, and ethical practices. And our values, I hope that you hear them today as I work with you through some things that I'd like you to take notes on in helping you to also grow your business, as Truist has done so for the last, we started as BB&T in 1872. And we merged with another company on the East Coast called SunTrust Bank. And of those two banks, we created a merger of equals, and we are now Truist. Our values are that we want to be seen as trustworthy, caring. We are one team. We work together to accomplish the goods for everyone. And we want to see success. When our clients win, we win. And we want to create a happy environment. So when our teammates are happy, they are able to provide something good for our clients. Today, we'll cover a few things that will help you. And I hope that these are some things that will answer questions that you might have about what to do. Even if you're in the middle of your business and you need revenue, you need capital to help you to grow. Let's see how that works. So we'll talk about personal banking and why that should be separate from your business banking. Your cash flow, how does it work? And what should you be looking for? How do you optimize it? Why do I need merchant services? What is it and how does it help my business? And some borrowing solutions. We'll do a knowledge check and do kind of a matching game to determine what is real and what isn't. What's good for you and what is something that you're not ready for. It's a good self-check. And insurance. Is it something I need? Do I need it now? Or is it something that I should just put on the back burner? And if you have staff, and sometimes that could be your own family members. If you have staff, any employees, what's the difference between a full-time employee and a contract employee? And then some next steps, because whenever I do a workshop or webinar, I want people to have something to take home to be able to work on going forward so that you're not stagnant in your growth. And if you can't see the screen very well, please let me know. Give me a thumbs up if you can. Is everything, can you see it okay? I'll take that as a yes. Great. Well, welcome. I want to cover with you today some things to help you be successful through the banking basics. And we cover things like family budgeting in a different class, becoming a homeowner, that's a different class, and I do growing your business. And we've mastered those things, I believe, of the topics that we know that will help you be stronger and you have a more vibrant financial future. So the expectations today is there are no two businesses that are the same. So before we begin, I just want you to dispel those myths, and I want you to think about some things and answer them very honestly. Okay, this is just for you. Answer those 4 questions that are here before you. How long have you been in your business? If it's 3 months, 3 months. If it's been 3 days, 3 days. Because going forward in this webinar, we'll talk about how that will affect your business. What are your annual sales? And if you wouldn't mind, put these in the chat. I want to see this. This is a very interactive workshop. There'll be a lot of things that you guys will do, okay? So get ready. I know you're having lunch. That's great. But I want this to be very useful for you. And Luciana, can you watch the chat for me? Thank you.
I sure can. And I'll also add the questions down there. I know some are messaging saying they can't really quite see it, but I'll put them in there.
I was wondering about that.
Yeah, no worries.
Let's see if I can enlarge this. I'm afraid if I try to enlarge it anymore, I will distort the view. My apologies. I'll read them out loud, okay? So the first one was, how long have you been in business? Number 2, what are your annual sales? Number 3, where do you see your business in 5 years? I'll give you some time. Number 4, what things do you need to know, do, or learn to get there? Remember, I said this would be very interactive. Number 4 takes us there. I can tell what you are expecting today by what you put down for number 4, because that's so important. You came to this webinar because you want to get some things, and I'm prepared to help you get there. So let's look at those answers to the chat. Luciana, what are we seeing there?
Yes. So we have some that have not started their business yet, and they were hoping to be able to figure out what it is that they need information-wise in order to get started. They've just been thinking about it. Let's see. Yep, there's another one that is looking for some financial knowledge on how to get started with their business.
Wonderful. Did anyone respond to the what are your annual sales? Has anyone had a tax return completed yet? And they know what their annual sales were? Okay, no problem.
Not yet.
All right, well, we'll take that as a move forward. How's that sound?
Yes, we got some more coming in here.
Awesome. We'll give that time. I love it. I love it.
And then we need a repeat for number 4. Number 4 was, what things do you need to know, do, or learn to get there?
What do you want to learn today to help you achieve the goals that you're looking for your business?
Yes. And then also, everyone, if you can just make sure if you're muted, and if you're not, I may have to mute you. We're hearing some feedback there.
Just go ahead and mute everybody, please.
Yeah, I think we got it now. They're nice and quiet.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Nancy.
All right. Now, here are some critical elements that we'll discuss today. It's all about the difference between your business and your personal finances. Cash flow. Cash flow just means that how do you have money coming into your business? How does it go out of the business? And how do you use the money that you have in your business? Merchant services. That's how do you get paid by others? How do you receive their payment for your services? And any borrowing solutions, and would it be necessary for you? Insurance and employees. And the learning objectives, that we've come to know that would really help business owners, especially those who are starting out. This is a workshop that's primarily for people in the primary stages of their business, either starting a business, have an idea of a business, or within that first 2 years. Separating your personal and business finances, so important. Effectively managing your cash flow, keeping your business up to date with the right technology, knowing your credit options when the need arises. We'll talk about that a little bit. Having insurance to protect you from the unexpected, because those things are inevitable, and hiring the right employees for your business. Now, here, I don't want this to show in mine. I'm trying to get, sorry. I want to get rid of this, Luciana, that across the top of my screen. Is that possible?
Are you
You
talking
don't
about
see it, that's fine.
Yeah,
If
all
you
I
don't,
see is just the personal banking page. That's all that's
perfect.
being
As
shared on
long as
this
you don't
end.
see that, I'm
Yeah,
glad.
we don't. Mm-mm.
Okay, good. So everyone, think about this. This is a workbook for you. And if you have the capability, please print these pages. This webinar will be available for you going forward so that you can use these things, because these are tools for you. How can I keep my personal and business accounts separately? Write down some ways you can ensure your personal and business accounts remain separate. How could you do that? If you want to make sure that you are not cross-pollinating and crossing over your personal and your business, and you can't tell which is which, what would you do? What are some ways that you could separate? And there are no wrong answers.
Yeah, some are saying have separate credit cards for your
Very
businesses.
good. Very good. Others?
No others for that one just yet, but there
All right.
were some earlier answers stating that they have been working on marketing like social media in order to build their business and get it off the ground. And then one future 5-year goal of where they saw their business is making $100 million in 5 years.
Yes. That's a very great and lofty goal, and I'm not one to say that you can't do it. And for that individual, I want to step back a little bit and say that that takes work, and you must be very into the industry and understanding how that industry works, and to sit down with a coach, like you have wonderful coaches at JFS. You want to hear everything there is about that particular industry that you're in, and we call those financial insights. You want to know, where has the industry been in the past? Where is it now? How's it working? And where is it headed in the future? What types of things would you need to be successful in it? So to reach 100 million is not unheard of. And I will tell you, there is someone who started a business with an incubator accelerator program that I've been working with, and his goal was around 100. It wasn't 100. He said 75 million. He's done $60 million. And he did that in 5 years, $60 million. And of course, it's a tech industry, and he's very unique. And he's in California, but we do everything virtually. So he had the right environment, he had the right tools around him, and he had the right coaches. So it's not unheard of. So continue to work toward the goal. And to do that, you need some things. First of all, we want to talk about opening a business account. It is not advisable to try to run your business through a personal account. It doesn't work. The government requires that you have a business account because they want to see where you are separating things for tax purposes. You can open a business account in just a few minutes. And here are some things that you would need. For the business owner, you would want to bring in your Social Security number. You don't have to have the card. Just know your number, your date of birth, your full personal address, not a PO box, your ID, which would be a state identification card or a driver license, a state driver license that is both current, not expired, or passport, or any other identification that is acceptable through the state of Texas if you're here. And we would want to know the individual percentage of ownership. And we'll get into those later because I know that you'll probably have questions about this corporation, LLC, partnership, or sole proprietorship. If you are the full owner, then you'll be 100%. It's partnership, however you divided that, we look at it as 50-50 if it's two. If it's three people, we look at that as 33 and a third, 33 and a third, and 33 and a third. Someone has to be 33.4. So it has to be divided equally. And unless you dictate that I don't want to be a real owner, I just want to be a silent partner, then that goes down to below 25%. And you have no responsibilities toward the lending goals or anything else. For the business itself to open up that business account, you will want to have an employee identification number. And you might be saying, an employee identification number, Nancy? I'm the only employee. You still need an EIN. I want to have one caveat with that. If you are a sole proprietor, you can use your social security number if you are a sole proprietor. When you become an LLC, a corporation, LP, or any other entity, you will need to get an EIN number. It's an employee identification number. That federal tax ID. The business incorporation details and issue date, you know what that is? That's state registration. So once you have registered with the state of Texas, I will speak for this state only, they will send you a document back that tells you all the details of your business. Who are the business owners? Where is it established? What date was it established? And you will see a seal on it. Once you have that seal stamped on that document, that's what the bank is looking for when you go in to open up your business account. It needs to see a business address. And if you have a business address that is your home address, that's perfectly fine. It cannot say P.O. box. It can't say a mailing box address either. Those look like real business addresses, right? But they're not. And the system comes up at any bank and it determines this is not a business address, it's a mailing address. You can have that for receiving mail, but you have to have a physical business address and your current bank information. What is that? So whatever you had for if you are currently banking at a bank, you bring over all of that information that you had from the previous bank. Or if you're just starting and you've never had that, you want to make sure that you have the bank information, such as your routing number, your bank account number, to get your bank account started. Any questions so far from opening a bank account for the business?
Yes, no questions. I did answer one of them. One question came through wondering whether or not they could convert an existing account into a business account. But I'll put that one out there just so you can answer that. Maybe if someone else has that same question.
Thank you. Is that one that needs to be answered right now?
Yes,
we can.
Yeah,
we most
yeah,
certainly
if you
can.
want. Yeah,
Absolutely. So the question is, can they just convert an existing personal account
I
to a
believe
business
so.
account?
Yes.
The answer is no, because the bank has already established that as a personal account. So what you would want to do is just simply open a business account. And sometimes that can seem a little bit daunting in your mind. It isn't. It is very, very simple. That top line under opening a business account, it says you can open a business account in minutes. It's true, guys. It's less than an hour. It's about 20, 30 minutes, depends on the information that you brought. That's all it takes. Is they're just completing the documents to open up a business account for you, and you will feel so wonderful once you have established your business account. You are an official business owner at that point, because that business has its own tax identification number. It has a name. It has its own account. And every time someone asks you for your services and you put that check or you receive that payment through that business name, you will applaud yourself and you will walk with your head held high. Trust me, I've seen people feel like a totally different person once they have their business account opened.
Yes. Thanks for answering that one. I thought that was a good one. So I want everyone to hear.
Great question.
There was
Yes.
another one as well, wondering if it's a home-based business,
Mhm.
is it okay to use the same address? So if it's home-based and it's also your home address, is that okay without any issues?
Absolutely. Absolutely. People do it every day. And especially now, thanks for that question. Whoever asked that, that's a great question. Think about now during COVID time, and everyone is working from home. Many business owners are operating their services from home, and that is their business address. If you choose to have a mailing address, a PO box, that's fine. That's your mailing address, but your operations are they're held at your home. So yes, you most certainly can.
Awesome. And we only had
Any
one
others
other
along
one.
those lines?
Yeah, just one other one, wondering whether or not there are monthly fees for business banking.
That we have a business account. Are you ready? Drum roll. That costs nothing when you do less than 50 transactions a month.
Nice. That's
Very good.
awesome.
We established that because so many of us were working with business owners who were starting. And the frustrating part was when you're starting a business and you know that you're going to use your bank account, it hurts you more by having these fees come out. I don't care if it's $15 a month, it hurts. So if you think about it, it's like, I made $100, but you took $15 of it? That stings, right? It's so discouraging. So we asked about that about 4 years ago, and the bank created an account that was not, it was called Business Value 50 at that time. So as long as you're doing 50 or less transactions each month, then it's free. There is no service fee for that. Great question. Now, other banks may charge something, but at Truist we don't. And I must say that when you go in and you interview people, and believe me, you want to interview banks, go and sit down with a few banks and talk to them about what do you have to offer to me as a small business owner? Tell me what the types of accounts you have if I'm starting, and take good notes. Copious notes will be your best source of reference going forward. And I would say you don't want to be out all day, right? You have a business to run, but I would say no less than 3. Please go and interview banks, or if you had to call them. But I think you get your best results when you walk in and you get to see someone and you say, I'm thinking of opening a business account. Tell me what you have to offer to me. This is my first year, or I'm starting, or I'm into my business for 5 years, whatever the case may be, because they'll have questions for you as well to help you determine what works best for you. Any others?
No new questions just yet.
Was that okay? Did that answer your question? I hope
Oh,
so.
yes, we're getting good feedback, and they're very excited about the fee-free business checking.
Yeah. When you're starting, it hurts to pay a fee
Yes.
because you're trying to accumulate deposits, right?
Yes.
And this is
Very
where that
excited.
comes in, fees and costs and money that comes in. When I talk to you about cash flow in the beginning, this is where I want you to concentrate some time on today. All right, we're going to talk about this a little bit because this is the foundation of your business. Your operations are all around collected funds and how you make money and how you pay money. All right, you have to make payments and people must pay you. You also are responsible for protecting your business so that it doesn't go away like dust. And you wonder, I'll start one day, I'll start over again. Once you start it, there's something that's called just sticking to it, having a plan. And that's the importance of a business plan. Part of the business plan is having a cash flow foundation. So let's go through these. These foundations will help your business simplify and manage the cash that comes in and the cash that goes out. That is cash flow. When you go into a bank in the future and you want to get a credit card or a loan, let's just start with a small loan. They'll want to see a record of how you've earned money. That is your tax return. A couple of other documents that they would ask for Those are later. When you've established yourself and you've had some earnings, they're called a balance sheet. One is called a balance sheet and the other is an income statement. You'll learn about those in another class. They want to see that because they want to know, how does your business cash flow? Is it making money? And if it is, how are you using it? And what kind of debt do you have? And how do your people pay you? Do they pay you by invoice? Because if they do, are they paying you on time? Why do you need a loan? So here we go. The first is collecting money. How do you get paid? How do people pay you? Right now, I think most of you are, I'm gonna guess, service industry. Let me know if you're a contractor, service industry, retail. What do we have here?
Yeah, you guys can also use your thumbs up feature as well. If your cameras are not on, or you can just type it to me also. So we have
So let's talk
retail,
about
a couple
retail.
of retail.
Do I have any service? Like seamstress, you're a barber, nail tech,
Let's see, so far just
gardener,
retail.
retail. Okay,
Mhm.
great. Retail is a good example to use in this instance.
Consulting,
Because you
service, professional
consulting.
career services. Yeah, so we have
Excellent.
3 others.
So let's go with this. I'm going to use both service and retail. You both take payment in a different way. My consultants, those service people, you will always typically want to receive funding through your invoices. You will send out an invoice, people will pay you. That invoice can be a virtual invoice online. You retail folks, you'll take credit card payments, debit card payments through a various virtual means, such as through Square, through Swipe Simply. There's so many different ways. So when I go in to get a haircut, when I get my nails done and stuff, I swipe that card. Those are ways that people are paid. Think about how you might get paid as we go through this. All right. The name of your company, let's just say, is Nancy's Flowers. Nancy's Flowers, we're going to talk about the little house. You see the house in the center? Nancy's Flowers has a primary account. That is my operating account. This is how I pay my bills. This is how people pay me. I have a payroll account because I have 2 people who work in my flower shop. One does deliveries, the other assists me in doing floral arrangements. And then I put some money aside for emergencies and for my taxes. So I have a savings account because I don't know when an emergency will come. I don't know if someone might not be able to, my pipes might burst. Insurance will pay me, but when? So I need to get that done now. So I have a savings account. I have that savings account because I don't want to have to just think of how am I going to pay my taxes at the end of the year when I have to do my tax returns and they say, oh, well, you owe $15,000. I don't want to take that from my earnings that I've made, my revenue for my business, but I've saved for it. And I know how much I need to save approximately because I've talked to my CPA. And then I have my personal account that's completely separate. So that's how I'm managing money on that way. But how does that money come into my account though? How do I get paid? I can get paid by cash or checks, and I can take them to my branch, one of my branches that I bank with. That bank that I bank with, they have several branches. I can just go into any one and make a deposit. Or so many banks now have where you can take a picture. And yes, you can do that with your business account. You take checks by mobile deposit. And that's what I mean by taking a picture of it with your phone. Debit and credit cards, that's merchant services. People can pay you by Square or Swipe Simple. And there are a myriad of different names of those businesses that are out there that you could use. And wire and ACH electronic. Some of you who are consultants, you may be consulting someone who lives in New York, Arizona, Florida. So you don't want to wait for a check, right? You send them an invoice and they turn around and they pay you that invoice through ACH. That's online. and you have free online services almost at every bank. You don't pay for those services, that's free. Making payments, how do you pay other people though? So Nancy's Flowers, she writes a few checks, because sometimes the people who are the vendors who supply her with her flowers, they only want a check. They don't want a debit payment. They want a check because that's a record that they like to keep. Then I have other people who I have to pay them by credit card. If I go to Lowe's or Home Depot and I need to purchase some soil, if I need to buy new baskets, I use my credit card. And then some others are in other places. I can only pay them by bill pay or wire or ACH. ACH is automated clearinghouse. It's like an overnight payment. It comes out quickly. That is also through Small Business Online. And then I need to pay James and Ray, right? Because they're in there working with me. They're helping me every day. There are partners out there that help you with payroll. And when you're small, you kind of do it yourself. So you want to make sure you have a payroll account that's separate from your operating account. That way, when it's time to pay you have to make that state payment to prove that you do have payroll, you have a payroll account, and you pay payroll taxes. That's in your far, far future. But once you have those people in place, those are the things I want you to remember, that they are a part of your business. Managing your money, you do that on a bank's website. Their online small business, online and mobile access. You can view everything that's happening on your account. I advise every business owner, take a look at it in the morning before you open your doors, before you start working, and take a look at it in the evening to see what things came through for you and what things have cleared that overnight. I'll let that sink in for you for a little bit. Any questions so far?
No, not so far. Nope.
All right. I hope that was clear. And if it isn't, we'll provide my information, email information, and you can email me any questions you might have about cash flow. Why is it important? How does it work for you? Okay. Now, how can I keep, I think I went backwards. Sorry. There we are. Now, this is a gem. It might look like, oh my God, that is so much. That's just daunting for me. It isn't, guys. This is something that's very easy for you to keep up with, and you can find this online on the website. This is a cash flow analysis statement. And what it does is, if somebody gave you $100 to start your business, good for you. Somebody loved you, someone believed in your business. Write that $100 down. That's the beginning of the month. Month one, you want to record everything that you did. All of your cash sales. If you had someone return something, or if you were you gave an allowance on something, you said, well, it costs $50, but I'm going to give you $5 off. So record that. Collections and accounts receivables, loan proceeds. If you gave out some money to someone and you got a loan and you got that funding in, yay, good for you. Owner contributions. These are things that are in the future for those businesses, corporations mostly, that must contribute to the business. So you took some money out, now you have to give it back. If you had advertising, I heard someone mention that they were doing a lot of marketing. If you know how much money you've spent on marketing, this is a good tool that you could have recorded and know where you had budgeted for that. And perhaps you went over the budget, or you stayed within the budget, or just below it. You want to gauge where your funding is going. This is a tool for you to use for supplies, travel, utilities, wages, everything that you want to use. This is for more advanced business owners, but it's good for anyone. We use it because banks use it because we want to determine from your tax returns and from your financials, I can tell whether or not you are cash flowing just from this document. We do month 1, 2, and 3, and typically we'll do that just to see, are you going up or going down? Are you trending well? you want to record using something like this for everyday purposes for how your business is cash flowing. I've got to get rid of this. I can't see. I honestly cannot see the top of my page because
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, we can't see that part.
you can't see that part.
No, we see everything perfectly on this side.
What does it say here? I think it's optimizing your business.
Let's see, optimizing our cash flow.
Optimizing that cash flow.
Mhm.
Write down some ways for me where you can optimize your cash flow. What is your biggest expense? And if you say, well, I haven't started yet, Nancy, but I'm about to start, you know what, because you've written this down, you have a business plan, you know what your largest expense will be every month. For some people, it's payroll. For others, it will be mileage because they are courier service. It's gas. It's the use of their car, their vehicle for deliveries. What has been your biggest expense?
Yeah, rent, marketing,
Yeah.
supplies,
Mm-hmm.
startup equipment. These are some of the things that are pinging into the box here.
And those are the ones we typically see. Those startup expenses, if you haven't saved for it, don't expect to go and borrow for it. That doesn't typically happen. Most times small business owners will say, but the bank will give me an SBA loan. Well, the bank can take an application and they do a lot of due diligence in determining if this is a type of SBA loan that does fit the criteria that the SBA lends on. The funding comes from the bank, right? But the SBA, the Small Business Administration, is who underwrites that loan. And if it has to fit everything, the expenses to start the business is not something that they lend on. Want to make sure that you have saved toward that.
Yeah,
Areas where you could cut. I'm sorry, Lashana, you had a comment?
Oh, no, go ahead. Go ahead. I'll ask after this.
Areas where you could cut some of your costs, where would that be? And you know your business better than anyone. Think about, yeah, maybe I buy lunch for my staff every Friday. Maybe I need to cut that out. Or I could order my supplies on Amazon a lot cheaper than going to Michael's to purchase it or to Office Depot. And then there are ways to optimize your accounts payable and accounts receivable processes. For those of you who will be using accounts receivables, you're doing invoices, let me tell you what you want to do. And you are paying people too, right? Nancy's florist, Nancy can take advantage of, if they gave her 30 days to pay, but they say, but Nancy, if you pay me back before 30 days, and Nancy can do that because she's also taking in funding, right? She's getting payments from people once she's selling her flowers, but she's taken a 30-day, she has a credit that she's used from her supplier. Her supplier said, you owe me $500 for these flowers, but if you pay me back before these 30 days, I'll take $400. Well, Nancy's gonna surely start receiving her money back from the Omni Hotel, the Hilton, and the Hyatt because she supplies flowers for their restaurants. She wants her money back from them quickly. So she's going to be calling them to get her money so that she can take advantage of that 30-day supply benefit. If she pays before 30 days, she saves $100. That's a way to optimize your accounts payable and your accounts receivable. Utilize ways to collect soon and to pay early. You're also building your credit with those who have extended credit to you, and they will advance you more. Questions?
There are some questions. There's one that was concerning mileage. Does mileage still count? Like if you can still, and I think that was in reference to the sheet before, the different expenses, but
yeah,
mileage.
I know it has changed, hasn't it? So with taxes, yes, and mileage can count for you as far as what you want to list as an expense. However, with the government changing tax laws, you want to check with your CPA or an accountant, make sure you're staying within those parameters of, do I still get credit for that? Can I still count it? But that's a cash flow analysis that we've used, but we draw that straight from your tax returns. So if you've been getting credit for your mileage, then that goes on that sheet. But do consult with a tax expert, whether it's a CPA or someone who's a tax preparer. And I will tell you guys, bookkeepers are very good with keeping your books, but you don't want to use a bookkeeper to do taxes. That's two different things. You want a tax preparer, a CPA, to answer those federal tax questions. And a bookkeeper will tell you, I'm not your person for that. I know how to keep your books and I keep them well, but I do not know how to counsel you on the tax laws. That's a CPA's question. Any other questions about that? You guys are a quiet group, but thank you so much for the questions in the chat. Those are awesome. And next page. So to increase your sales and streamline your cash, you want to make sure you have the right technology. You want to stay up to date. Guys, people will judge your business sometimes based upon the technology that you use. Because if you're using antiquated equipment, they look at that as a business that is one that cannot service them well. So let's talk about if you are in person and you accept payments. I don't know, you could do lawns, you could do nails, you could do barbering, you are a retail store, you sell clothing. How are your people paying you? Over the counter? And if they do you have the right equipment to take their payment? Prime example, there is a shop that sells vintage jewelry that I love. I love them. And when I went, the last time I went in, it's new owners now, and that they didn't have a cash register, which made me feel really strange. They had this little tiny thing on the counter, and she was adding everything on a calculator. And then she used something that looked almost like my phone to take my payment. That's fine. But at a retail store, that didn't look right. And it made me feel a little strange about them using my debit card. And that is how your customers will feel too. They want to be able to trust where they're spending their money. So you want to have something that they know that not only looks legitimate, but that it is. So you want to have someone that you trust to take care of your payments for you, whether it's over the counter in person, whether it's on your mobile or online. I'm not saying it isn't good to take mobile payments, because I pay my stylist with my card and she does it by mobile. So there are a myriad of ways, various ways that you can do that. Just make sure that the technology that you use is one that your clients can trust. Does that make sense? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Excellent. And the consumers pay for the goods and services quickly and easily, right? So contactless cards, I like that. I really loved Apple Pay. It's my favorite thing in the world. I just pull it up, click 2 times on the side of my phone, it's done. Or I can tap to pay when I go to Starbucks or any place else, and I don't have to stick my phone in there, my card inside, and you can do it at the gas station. You just tap and go. I really like that. That's the contactless cards that I appreciate the most. You also have swipe, which is good, and the chip is protection. Mobile wallets such as Apple Pay and Samsung Pay, still my fave. I just tap that thing on the side and go. And it also provides you with a number that it's not the one that's on your card. So it's not compromised. So you want to be able to look at those 4 types and say, for my clientele, which technology works best for them? which one would they feel safer with? And which one do I know will benefit my business best? That I would not be worried about my payments, that I wouldn't have a lot of chargebacks, that people would not bring. That's the sad part about some of the larger retail stores. They have a lot of chargebacks. People bring things back. So hopefully in your industry, it isn't something that is constantly people are bringing back. So for Nancy's florists, I don't have people bringing back flowers. They like the arrangements that we make. And that's just my little fictional store. What type of businesses are you? You know, think about that. Think about if you're a restaurant, a hospitality, retail, health and fitness. Do you sell cars or car parts? Do you service autos? Are you a beauty professional? Do you offer professional services, or are you a nonprofit? I named those out loud because I wanted you to hear them and not just see several at one time. Think about your business. What type of business are you? And when you do, think of your business and compare it to when you go to that same type of business. So if you were to go to a restaurant and you have a restaurant, how do you see yours? Would you be pleased if you came to your restaurant? As far as the business, the way things are run, you want to always remember it's a retail store. Am I taking payments the way that I would want to pay someone else? And I have really judged that quite a bit. I do that when I go places. I think about this workshop that we do so often. I'm at their business, and there are times when you really want to make a suggestion, but you're like, this is a larger business, but I'll let them do what they do best. Luciana, did you see a question in the chat?
I didn't. There were
Okay,
just
good.
a few people mentioning the types of businesses they had. We have some in education, some that run power washing businesses.
Yeah.
Let's see, self-development, training and education. We have all types.
I
Consulting.
really like this. Yes. This is a really good group, a very strong group of different businesses. Makes it really interesting to see how this might play into your business. And now here's a knowledge check I want to go through with you guys really quickly here. Eventually, most businesses need to borrow money. But what are some examples of how a business loan can be helpful? Think about it. Why would you even want a business loan? What kind of ways would you actually use the proceeds from getting extra capital?
Haven't had any responses just yet. You guys can
So
type
let's
in the
think
chat.
about that. What about new equipment? You would want to purchase new equipment. Something broke down. If you're a caterer, you would need someone to deliver your auto parts. If you have an automobile parts store, someone has to go deliver those because the person certainly can't come and pick it up because their car is broken. So you deliver those auto parts to a store that has them, that sells them, and you are the supplier. You might want to have a business loan in the event that you have a shortfall in payroll. That's a line of credit, though, not a business loan. Business loan would serve a purpose for buying some piece of equipment, having buying a vehicle, anything that's tangible that you're going to make monthly payments on. That's a business loan. You're going to make the same payment every month. They gave you a $10,000 loan. You're going to make even payments every month, same amount. One interest rate doesn't fluctuate. Let's do this little matching game real quick. See all those loan types at the bottom of the page? You see equipment loan, SBA loan, unsecured loan, revolving lines of credit, term loan, secured loan, and regular loans. Don't know why they just call it a loans instead of a term loan, because they're all term loans. An equipment loan is when you're going to buy one piece of equipment and it's to be used for the business. An SBA loan is when you come to the bank, the SBA underwrites it, we fund it as an institution. An unsecured loan is when there's no security that is collateral that the bank can come back and take it back if it isn't paid for. Let's say use a car, for instance. If a person isn't making their car payments, then the bank comes and gets the car. But it's an unsecured loan, there is nothing to secure it. That's secured underneath, unsecured on top. Unsecured loans is they just go by your good credit and the revenue that you make. Revolving lines of credit is if you wanted to get some more feed for your farm and you want to purchase that feed or seed to grow more plants, revolving lines of credit are for seasonal things. And a term loan is if you're going to get a loan and you make one payment every single month. Now, on this matching game, for sake of time, I won't go through this with you today. And have you do it rather. You can do this on your time. This will be a very good exercise for you to use for later. Is that fair? Does that sound good? Secured against your assets as collateral, giving some security to the lender, that's a secured loan. Supported by your credit worthiness and obtained without the use of collateral, that's unsecured loan. Paid off at fixed intervals over a set period of time, that's a term loan. Reduces risk for lenders, making it easier for business owners to get a loan if they don't qualify for traditional financing, SBA loan. Helps finance the cost of equipment by spreading out the cost, that's a revolving loan. One-time lump sum extensions of credit paid through periodic consistent installments. That is, hold on, that's the loan. And a flexible option where a set borrowing limit is extended to a consumer and funds can be borrowed again later after the money is repaid. That's revolving lines of credit. Think of a revolving line of credit as a credit card. That's all it is a big credit card. And last but not least, you have the true or false insurance. If you don't have insurance for your business, one word of advice, protect your assets, protect your business. You are part of your business, you run it. So you definitely want to insure yourself. But when you have equipment, you are leasing a space in someone else's building, you want to have insurance, and most times they require that you do. And it says so here, if you rent a space, you don't need commercial property insurance. True or false? Definitely false. Definitely false. Top, even minor mishaps can lead to large lawsuits. True or false? Definitely true. If your business has employees, you should have workers' compensation insurance. Absolutely true. And last, if you're young and able-bodied, you don't need to worry about having life or disability insurance. False. Most certainly false. So you can fill in the blanks on the bottom half in the spaces. Provide some examples of how insurance can protect you and your business and your employees. That's the homework part that I mentioned to you earlier that I'd like you to think about. That's why we have these worksheets. And what's the difference between full-time employees and contract employees? Full-time employees, you pay them, you cover them, they are hourly and you are responsible for them. Contract employees are responsible for themselves and their tools and their equipment, and you pay them through invoice. I'm so glad I made it through the whole thing without coughing. Seasonal employees are typically contract employees because you're only using them for a certain length of time, like for Christmas, and you don't carry them on your regular payroll, and you don't have to provide them with all the benefits that you would your full-time employees. You want to build company loyalty, work with someone long-term and oversee their work methods, you should hire a full-time employee. If Bill receives payment after his services, he is a contractor because he just did a service, he got paid, he went home. If Anita is on your payroll and is paid bi-weekly, she is a full-time employee. A blank handles their own taxes, benefits, and marketing costs. It's a contractor. A blank works regular schedules with less sensitive to market trends. That's a full-time employee. And your action items, guys, ta-da, here you are. You have homework. Action item number 1 and action item number 2. I really would like for you to do this exercise at home when you have time. These will help you guys. This is you setting your goals for your business. Your business depends on you and your passion for it. And action item number 3, what would you do? How will your business benefit from your actions? You set goals for it, right? So you have to put some things in place. And I want to challenge you to complete those action items. And last but not least, we are a multicultural bank, and I want to say that because we open the door to opportunity for everyone. And what people feel that they might not be able to do, we assist them in making sure that they can. And we want to reflect that right here where we are as an institution, as Truist. And everywhere that you go, make sure that you are looking for that. So thank you so much for your time. I'm sorry I went over by 2 minutes. Luciana, thank you so much for the opportunity. Allison, Brenda, this was wonderful. And I hope that everyone found something valuable that they can use going forward.
Yes, absolutely. And you didn't go over. It's totally fine. We have until 2:30. That just allows us time to get
Oh,
feedback and
good.
questions. Yeah, it's totally fine. That was
Oh,
perfect.
good.
And there were some really nice compliments pouring into the chat over here to me. People found it very, very valuable. 2 or 3
Wonderful.
people had to jump off early to go to other meetings, but they found the information to be so super helpful. And they're really excited about some of the products you explained to them too that could better help them with their business.
Very
In response to the portion that we were covering about the different types of loans that they could get, to start up their business, there were people, wondering about which type to use, for human capital, even to be able to hire people, and about, startup equipment and supplies, and
Yes.
also servers and backup information, how they have to pay different fees and subscriptions to cover some of these many costs. So I think that
Right.
the example that you did with the matching was very, very helpful to them to be able to see, okay, what type of loans do I need for said expense, because it all varies. So there was a lot of chatter on that particular topic. And let's see.
And Luciana, to that point, may I
Mm-hmm.
just
Go ahead.
say something?
Mm-hmm.
Whenever you are looking for a type of loan, if you go into the bank and you tell your banker what you're looking for, they should counsel you on the best option for your business at that time, for the need that you have at that time. Because sometimes folks will tell me they want a business loan. Great, I'm happy to see that. Let's talk about why you need a business loan. Tell me about your business and what are you doing? Once we hear those things, then we have a better idea of knowing, many times I've found that no, they didn't need a business loan. They needed an equipment loan, or perhaps a loan for a line of credit even, because it was for something seasonal. And once they use that, it's like a credit card, remember, you use it and you pay it down, and its availability grows back up again, and you use it when you need it again. And when you receive payment from the people who owe money to you, you pay it back down again. So just the counseling part is very important to know, why do you need a loan? And how is your business functioning? And is this the best option for me?
Yes, that is very, very helpful, because there were so many different types of expenses popping up there. If anybody has any clarification questions about that, feel free to go ahead and send those to me.
You-
Let's see. Oops.
If I may, that reminds me, Nancy mentioned she was going to provide her contact information. And I
bet.
didn't see that yet in the chat, so that's why I was asking.
I will add that right now. Hi there, Debbie Van Allen. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
And I've just noticed that my dear, wonderful, brilliant colleague is on this call. She's ill today and should not be. But I want to introduce Andrea Harvey. Andrea has been in banking as long as me, I think. And we've worked together for the last 20 years. And we keep following each other every year we go. But Andrea, I don't know if the cough is so bad that you can't share some of your wisdom. She's been a lender for many years, and she served most recently as the branch leader at the McKinney location. So she is a top lender. So she can answer many, many questions. I didn't know she was on.
Yeah, she has been awesome. You guys have been rocking the house. Andrea has been over here filtering questions for me that I've been getting directly. She is like the bomb over there.
She is amazing. I know.
Yeah,
This is great, Nancy. I think you did a great job. And the only thing I would love to add is I think it's really important that when you walk into a bank, whether it's Truist or another bank you're shopping at, if your banker looks at you and says, here's an application, fill it out, that's probably not the right place to start. You want to start with someone who is going to counsel you. And that's what JFS does. I mean, if you ever have questions, go to your coach. And then in the event that your coach has questions, they know how to contact us as well. So everybody's on your team to help your business. So I love that. Yeah, great seminar.
Thank you. Thank you. Because between Brenda, Luciana, and Chris, hi, Chris, and Kristen, everybody is awesome at JFS. And I think it's my favorite place to refer people, whether they have ever been there or not. That's my go-to to send people for effective counseling. There's a difference in just having a conversation about your business and having good, effective counseling about your business.
Absolutely. And I'm also putting our information in the chat as well, so you guys can see it. So feel free to just copy and paste that out of there. Let's see. Oh, we're getting all kinds of compliments. JFS has amazing resources. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate that.
Someone had a question, are the working papers available?
Yes, that was for Joel. And I let him know he'll be receiving those. You guys will get those in the email that you did your registration with. You'll see those there. And then I think there was a question about JFS Coach. How do I become a part of that? If you mean for coaching, or if you mean something different, just specify for me. But if you mean for coaching, you can use that contact information I just sent you to get all signed up and to get assigned to a coach. Yep, that's what they needed. Absolutely. So just use that contact information and we'll get you all signed up. That's what we will do. You call and go through that process, and we can get you assigned to a financial or career coach or both, depending on what it is that you need. We're here to help with everything. What other questions do we have? It says, there was a question, what to do when your bank merges with another bank and you find the service inferior?
I'll take that. I'll start that, Andrea. Because we both have been there, we know. We've both been through many mergers, not just here, but previous employment, and you see the differences. So when you get that first letter that says that your bank is going to merge, and they're merging with this, and perhaps you've had history. I love, Chris, thank you.
Yes,
we love you.
Awesome.
Switch to Truist.
Yeah,
but
there you go.
You really do want to ask them, tell me what I am looking for. How will this impact my business? How will this impact my relationship with you? And they have to answer that question, because you'll get a letter that tells you all these things that to expect, right? And the steps that they're taking. And the banks do a good job of trying to give you as much information as possible up front, because that's the information they have right now. But along the way, those mergers take time. They don't happen instantaneously. So you want to continue that dialogue and watch things. Be very watchful, because that's your relationship. And I have seen where I've gained some really good clients because of a merger at a different institution. And it's because they were looking for something that they did not get. And that is explanations, consultation, and caring. And I will brag and say that is one thing we do very, very well at Truist.
And Nancy, I just want to add, because Truist is going through a merger right now, you'll notice the BB&T signs in Dallas coming down the weekend of February 21st and changing purple. Mergers are hard on everyone. They're hard on clients. I just came from 22 years in the branch network. It's hard on associates. People get scared. They don't like change. So if you are a current BB&T client and you're seeing inferior service because of the Truist merger, remember that the world is short-staffed right now, and we are working hard to get those branches filled back up with folks. And, you know, maybe it's just a matter of talking to a different branch manager at a different location. Don't always just say, well, that's it, I'm done with this new bank. You know, now, if you try that and that doesn't work, then you do have a bigger problem. But the great news is there's so many different banks out to serve. Truist is all about our clients and putting our communities first. So that would be my best advice. And I love the question, Joel. That made me laugh. Thank you.
Yes, that was
That was a good question.
awesome. See, so we got more information over there in the chat. Make sure you guys grab that if you're needing that for information for JFS and or Truist. You guys have been a really awesome group. The participation has been fantastic. So with that
Yes.
being said, that means you all are going to come back again on January 20th because y'all are amazing. We'll be looking forward to it and all the rest of our webinars in this series as well. I love this participation and feedback. And so if you guys don't have any other questions or comments or things to add, I'll give you guys maybe 15 minutes back of your day. We're so thankful to Andrea and Nancy for spending their time with us and giving us this valuable information. I wrote down some things for my husband for his business as well. Very
Good.
helpful. Very, very helpful.
Very good. Well, good. Well, thank you everyone for this opportunity. We really appreciate it.
Yes, and absolutely. Thank you guys. And someone's asking what the topic will be. It will be the same topic, but we will have a different bank. It will be a different bank doing the presentation. But same topic. Every month, it will be one topic, 2 different times, 2 different banks, and then the next month it will change. So you always have to tune in because you never know what you may find out.
Right.
Yeah. Glad to have you guys, and Happy New Year to everyone again.
Happy New Year.
Thank you, Nancy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.